Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Saturday morning new distributor training for Zija. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija. I have the t-shirt to prove it. Got the t-shirt to prove it. My privilege to be your trainer this morning. We do this on an ongoing basis on Saturday mornings. It's part of the system that we use to provide support to our new distributors. I want to do, first of all, a little bit of acknowledgement. Welcome to all of you who are joined us this morning. I've noticed there's several of our top field leaders with us right now. I see Pat Anderson, Reed Nelson. There's a number of you. Oh, wow. I've also got Christine Holland. Man, I've got everybody here today. I'm trying to sort through all these names here. However, what I do want to do in particular is do a warm welcome to all of you who are brand new distributors with us. Perhaps this is your first opportunity to be part of a Saturday morning new distributor training. Warm welcome. Also, for some of you that maybe are an invited guest, that's not uncommon. Somebody who's looking at our business is maybe exploring what kind of support resources might be available, that you might be participating here. And so certainly you're welcome, even if you haven't yet made that decision to join us. A couple of things I want to do before I get into the materials that I've prepared for today. The title of this broadcast, we call it New Distributor, Saturday Morning New Distributor Training. It's a little bit of a misnomer because what we're doing today and typically on this broadcast is in addition to what I call the new distributor training. So hopefully you've got your journal handy. I started this process over 30 years ago, taking down the notes. You can't remember everything. Much of what I do today came out of not fancy journals like this one, but spiral bound notebooks that I was using back in the day, and some of the original things that I learned, because successful concepts remain constant over time. Now, I encourage you to have a journal. That way you don't have scraps of paper all over the place and try and compile the kind of knowledge and information and training that you're going to be gathering here. But make a note. I'm going to encourage, especially if this is your first time or you're just getting started with us, or maybe you've been using our products for a long time, now just getting serious about developing a business with Zija's, life-changing world-class products. I encourage you to get some foundational things underneath your belt. To do that, I have a YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. Fred Holmes, Holmes, Zija, all one word. If you go there, that's a place where all of the presentations I do, our Saturday morning trainings are archived there. The Biz Talks presentations there, other video things. However, if you look on the top, you'll see a link that says playlists. There's only one playlist on that channel. It's called New Distributor Training. You'll find 4 videos there. The first one, it's 30 minutes long. It's called New Distributor Training. That's the one I'm going to encourage you to look at, okay? Because that is really, information that I received my very first Saturday morning as a new distributor with a company that I joined. This would go back to the mid '80s, so about 33 years ago, I'm thinking. Okay, and that Saturday morning training was information from one of the top, most successful network marketing trainers that we've ever seen. And that information is what I've used over the years to build my business. Now, certainly there's more to it than that, but if you have that foundation, you will already know everything you need to know to build a business within Zija International. Now, in addition to that first 30-minute video, there are 3 more little 10-minute videos, average about 10 minutes apiece, and those collectively would be called Fast Start Training, okay? How to create a prospect list, how to develop your story, a 90-day game plan. If you were to take the few minutes it takes to watch those 4 little videos, frankly, you're gonna know more than probably 80% of the people who have ever gotten involved in network marketing. And I'm selling you on the value of taking the time to watch those little videos. Okay, so I encourage you to do that. Don't leave today. Finish this broadcast, then go back if you haven't seen it. Because today, what we use on Saturday morning, we try to augment that with different topics. There are different trainers besides myself that have different things that they excel in. And so this can be part of an ongoing process for your, personal development, skill sets development. It's something that, Jim Rohn said that's always stuck in my mind. You can have more than you have today because you can become more than you are today. And that comes through ongoing education, training, personal development, and so on. So I encourage you to do that. And today I've got several things I want to talk about. I'm going to take a quick moment here and just recap, because I got a bunch of messages here. Good morning, Reed. Good morning, good morning, good morning, morning. Agnes and Gennady almost hit triple diamond last night. Wow, these guys, that brings up an interesting comment. Let's see, teamwork. I see Candace. Hello, Candace. I'm actually going to be talking about Candace here a little bit. Lauren Ray, good to see you. All right, now, I just wanted to double check, make sure I wasn't missing anything. I'm always afraid somebody's going to send a little chat message that says something like, your fly's open, or, well, actually, maybe I'm not quite awake yet. So that's why I checked. One more time here. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Pat Anderson, Pat's got the fastest growing organization in all of Egypt. And you guys watch her on the YouTube, or her presentations on clubmoringa.com. You never know where Pat is. She's either going to be at her Florida home, or a ranch, horse ranch in Salt Lake, or playing with the grandbabies, up in Idaho. You just never know where Pat is, but she manages to do this incredible, accomplishments from wherever she happens to be. Now, today, and again, I hope you have your journal handy. This is something, get committed to what it is you want to do. This is something you find every successful person within our profession has something like this. It may not necessarily be this type of journal, but they have something, a spiral binder, something that they keep an ongoing contemporaneous flow of the information, the training, the thoughts, what have you. These are the things that successful people do. And something that made a lot of sense to me when I first got involved in this kind of business, and again, we're going back to the mid-'80s, I was a cross-country truck driver. And it occurred to me even back then, when I made a decision to start driving trucks, I didn't go buy the, Truckmaster School of Driving course to learn how to drive truck. I went to people that did it for a living. I went actually through a friend of a friend. I met a contact that owned a trucking company. And so I went to him. I said, I want to learn how to drive trucks. I want to be a truck driver. And I had an opportunity to study truck driving with him. Now, it's not what you might think. He said, well, if you're serious about it, you can hang out in the yard with Morris. Morris was the yard guy. And, and he'll show you. But I had to do it for free. He didn't give me a job. He said I could hang out with Morris. So I showed up first thing in the morning. Morris would be, working on trucks, fixing this, fixing that. And it was time to take them, down the street and around the corner, get them loaded with produce, and, and then take it over to the ice place and get them iced down, and then get the trailers set up for the drivers, the line drivers, to come in a little later on in the day and then take them down to the market. And then once I did that, I was up, typically was there like 4 or 5 in the morning when Morris started his day. I'd run home, take a shower, and in the afternoon I'd come back and I'd ride with one of the drivers down to the market district in LA, watch him do what he's doing, and I'd just sit and watch. And I did that for several weeks, and I kept showing up, and eventually one of the drivers didn't come in, and the owner of the company called me up and said, you want to drive? Go ahead and drive. I got a place for you now. And so, that is actually kind of very similar to, our profession. When I got involved in network marketing, it occurred to me that there were a lot of people involved in the business, but there was a group of people who were clearly the top income earners. And so what I did is I sat in the front of the room and I paid attention to the people that were at the front of the room. It was obvious the people at the front of the room with the pen were the ones making the big money. And they were the ones I learned from. And one of the things that I noted is they all had journals. And so I picked up a journal. Didn't know what to put in it, but I was trying to follow the leaders. And so I'm encouraging you to have that, start that process. If you want to be successful, here's a clue. Do what the successful people are doing. Okay? That's pretty simple, right? If you're doing what they're doing, you're certainly on the right path to being successful. Now, one of the things that I learned very early on, and I'd like you to start with this in your notes, okay? As a new distributor, make a decision as to what you want. I refer to this as start with the end in mind. Nobody ever achieves anything in life that they don't plan to achieve. Now, some will say, well, you know, I didn't plan to have that business failure. I didn't plan to get fired from my job. I didn't plan to have, whatever, right? I didn't plan to have the engine blow up in the car. I didn't plan to get sick, whatever. Truth of the matter is virtually everything that happens because you either proactively planned for it to happen or through inactivity planned for it to happen. If you eat McDonald's, every single day of the week, and you drink Diet Coke every single day of the week, you might say, I didn't plan to have, type 2 diabetes, fibromyalgia, cancer, obesity, whatever. But you did because of the choices that you made. Now, proactively, you can choose the level of success you desire in a venture like this. And obviously, today I'm not speaking to necessarily to somebody whose goals are to make an extra, $200 or $300 a week, an extra $1,000 a month. If that's your goal, that's a great goal, by the way. I want you to think about this for a minute. How many of you would think, that life was treating you well if your boss gave you a $10,000 or $15,000 raise this year? You go into work, boss says, you're doing a good job, I'm going to give you 10 grand a year more. Would that be a good thing? Absolutely. Folks, that's $800 a week or a month. That's it. $200 a week, $10,000 a year. That is great. And that is the backbone of our distributor force in Zija. People that are looking to make that extra $200 or $300 a week, that extra, $1,000 a month, that can change everybody's lives. But too many people come to our type of business looking to have something significant in the form of a Zija business, but they don't either, number one, know how to accomplish that, or number two, commit to doing the doing part. And that's what I'm talking about today. As a brand new distributor, or maybe a distributor who's been around, maybe you've been using the products for a while, maybe you've gotten a few customers, you dabbled in it, but you're starting to recognize what's happening with Zija. Folks, we are white hot right now. We are the hottest company. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't other companies that got some momentum, but these are companies, mark my words, that 3 years from now, 5 years from now won't be here. We're a Ken Brailsford company. It's the reason I joined this company. I look at the list of, and it's really, a lot of you started to come on here. I see Brian and Susan. Brian, just been a busy day, buddy. We'll be talking, okay? Actually, this is kind of sad. I'm looking at all the people that I promised to talk to yesterday and today are on the, well, at least we're here now talking, right? The point is that, there are companies out there that will see some fleeting momentum and growth, and there'll be some success stories, and they're going to be gone in a year or 2 or 3. That's just the nature of our industry. The reason that I'm here, the reason people like Pat Anderson, Reed Nelson are here, okay? Mac McDonald, Pat Terry, these are the kinds of people that recognize the value of a legacy company, a company that you know is going to be around 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. How do we know that? Because Ken's other companies have been around 30 and 40 years. They're still in business. They're still thriving. You can choose the level of success that you desire. All right. However, it is something, it has to be proactive. This is what I can guarantee you. If you start your Zija business with the mindset, well, let me get in, let me put my, dip my toe in the pool. Let me talk to a few people, see how it goes. If it really starts to take off, then I'll jump in there with both feet. That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You must, in the beginning, make a decision as to what you want. Decide in the beginning. And this is that one single thing can separate you from the masses and put you in the, that elite group. Okay. Just that one thing, just a decision. Let's talk about, what is it? The Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. The masses, the 80%ers, they do things a certain way. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being in the 80%. I was in the 80% most of my life. There's great value to being in the 80%. However, not everybody wants to be there. The 20%, the top 20%, if you will, they're the ones that create the vast majority of productivity. Everybody's heard the 80-20 rule. 80% of the productivity is done by the 20% of the people. In our country, United States, here's some statistics for you. 80% of the population lives off of $60,000 a year or less. Okay, now somebody who makes $30,000 a year thinking $60,000 a year is great. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. Raise kids, have a life, take care of business, whatever. But if you want more, understand that all of the money is in the top 20%. And in that top 20%, you can get into the top 20% by simply making a decision. That in and of itself will elevate you to the top 20%, because a decision is a commitment to do something. Now, what's really exciting is in that top 20%, there's another 80-20 rule. The top 20% of the top 20%, that top 4 or 5%, those are the people that make six-figure incomes. And in our country, in the United States, and I know there's people from other countries, so I'm trying to, convert dollars here. The fact of the matter is, in the United States, you got to be in the top 5% of income earners or so to make $100,000 a year. Isn't that interesting? Just like multi-level. Real life is just like multi-level. And so what's really interesting is that it takes very little in network marketing to be able to elevate to the top 20% and then the top 5%. And these are the things that we want to share with you during Saturday morning training. So first one, make a decision in the beginning. Start with the end in mind. Don't be that person that says, well, this looks good. Jesus sure would be nice to drive a car like Fred, or have, multiple homes, on golf courses like Pat Anderson, or, to live where, Reed and Yvonne Nelson live. Sure, that'd be nice. Okay. Make a decision what you want. Choose. Start with the end in mind. Don't be that person that's going to try it and see how it goes, because I'm going to tell you how it's going to go. It's going to be as mediocre and lukewarm as that level of commitment. But if you commit, here's two things I can assure you. You've got a company that your goals cannot exceed the capacity of the company to provide for. Number two, whatever your goals are, you will have the people that have the capacity to teach you how and work with you and support your efforts, and they will be there. You watch what happens when you make that commitment. Those people will track you down. Okay? That's the nature of our Zija opportunity. Now, once you make that decision, and for some of you it's going to be a very lofty decision, a very high goal. It was for me 33 years ago when I joined this profession. I set a goal that to me was unattainable, but I had to have it. I had a burning white hot passion and desire to have this goal. I had to create a six-figure income and have time freedom and on day-to-day basis to care for my son. I had to have that. There was nothing more important, and all of that has been accomplished and way beyond that, because first thing I did is I made a decision, committed to it. Now, the next question is how? Okay, because that's always the magic question, right? How are we going to do this? Write this in your notes. Consistency of effort and persistency of effort will overcome all obstacles. Consistency and persistency allows you to accomplish anything. Consistency of effort and persistency of effort will overcome all obstacles. Now, we all got obstacles, okay? You know, wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody was, you know, smart, good looking, you know, successful, highly educated, great, you know, unlimited financial resources, blah, 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 blah. You know, all of those things would be great. Problem is, most of us don't have that. Okay. I did not come from a family that had, you know, large business holdings, great connections. You know, I didn't have an Ivy League college education. You know, I didn't, you know, there were a lot of things that I didn't have that most people perceive are the kinds of things that create success. What I did have were the only things that matter, especially in our profession. You may want to write this in your notes. I had very good work ethics. I was willing to do the work. Number two, I was very coachable. Now, I'm not always saying that I've been that guy. Okay, I tend to be the guy that, you know, once I know how to do it, I know how to do it. Don't be telling me how to do it. I already know how to do it. There's a challenge that I have there, but I'm aware of that challenge. When it came to network marketing, I was a cross-country truck driver in the mid-'80s. I knew that I didn't know about this. I was very coachable. So, willing to work, willing to learn. Third item, burning desire to succeed. You know, and some of you know the story. I won't go into it right now, but it had everything to do with providing for my older son as he entered school age. Okay, I had to make this thing work. Willing to work, willing to learn, burning desire to succeed. Do that as a little self-analysis. If you have those things, and we really don't care what you anything else that you don't have. Okay, you don't have to be a great public speaker. You don't have to, you know, have tremendous background in, you know, presentations, sales, marketing, you know, understanding comp plans, product knowledge on this. Frankly, most of that stuff's a disadvantage to you because it keeps you from following the simple system. For those of you that haven't watched that first 30-minute training on the playlist, the Saturday morning new distributor training, you'll start to get a feel for just how simple this is. Here's the problem. If you violate the simplicity of the system, you make it complicated. It may work for you, but it won't be duplicatable for others. Consistency of effort here, this means correct activities. Consistency of effort exercised over a prolonged period of time, persistency overcomes all obstacles. Today, and I'm not saying I'm a great speaker or a great trainer, because I know great speakers and I know great trainers, and I'm not one of them. Okay, but I'm not bad. Okay, why? Because I've done it for so long, so much for so long. You know, if you do something every day for 30 years, you're going to get somewhat good at it, right? You know, a lot of people are concerned about, you know, I'm afraid of public speaking. I don't know if I can do this. It's okay. Me too. Honestly, that was one of the things that was the greatest struggle for me. But I figured out pretty quickly that the things that I felt the most challenged by were the things that I needed to run towards as fast as I could. Okay, staying in your comfort zone is fine, but you're only going to have what you got. You're never going to have more than what you've got because you haven't become more than you are. Okay, you'll be able to do whatever it is you need to do if your goals are strong enough and your desire is strong enough. Now, some skill sets, and I want to talk about this, and then I have a couple other things I want to cover, and then I'm going to open up for question and answer. I want to talk briefly about a skill set, and this all comes out of this week's conversation with a number of distributors, the third party introduction protocol. How to introduce your prospective distributor, somebody you're prospecting to join your business, or maybe it's a brand new distributor that you're getting plugged into your upline, how to introduce them to your upline. This is a critical component of what we do. Third-party validation or upline introduction, the three-way calling protocol, and this is the same thing on if you're doing a Zoom meeting. It's all Zoom is video with the phone, right? That's all it is. The protocol is important to master because this is one of the most important activities. Matter of fact, I'll go this far. I can tell how much a distributor's business is growing by how many times they're putting me on the phone either with a prospect or with a new distributor. And not just me, whoever their upline is, okay? If you are using third-party validation, if you're plugging your new distributors into your upline, then you're doing correct activities. Here's what I can also guarantee you. It is very unlikely your business is growing if you are not doing third-party validation or plugging in your new distributors to your upline. It's almost a guarantee. Okay, now, since it's one of the most critical components of what we do in our daily method of operation to be successful in network marketing, it also makes sense that if it's one of the most important activities, you have to be able to do it in a fashion that it is duplicatable by the masses. Okay, duplication is the key to success. It isn't an issue what you can do. What's the issue is, does it work for everybody? And so I want to cover this real quick because I had a lot of issues with this week, and that's why it's kind of on the forefront of my mind. We've got three parties to an introduction, and whether it's validating the opportunity or plugging into an upline. We've got you, the new distributor. We've got your prospect or your new team member, and then you've got your upline, your successful upline with a story. Now, when you put that connection together, here is my suggestion. Keep it simple, keep it short, keep it consistent, because it'll be duplicatable by the masses. When you, as the distributor, you want to introduce, let's say, your prospect to your upline for third-party validation, always introduce the upline first to the prospect, okay? This is a posturing or a positioning issue. And honestly, who cares why? Just do it the way it works, right? I mean, if you want to talk about why, we can talk about that later. I got more things I want to talk about today. So you introduce your upline. So I might do something like, Mary Lou, I've got Pat Anderson on the line. She's a Diamond Elite with the company, one of the top income earners, and been an incredible help to me in building my business. Okay? And that's, assuming Pat's my upline, right? I actually sponsor Pat, so good for me, right? So I'm going to introduce the upline to the prospect. And then I'm going to immediately, what I did is I edified Pat. And I'm going to cover this in a minute, specifically what I did. Then I'm going to cross-edify, introduce my prospect, Mary Lou, to Pat. And Pat, this is Mary Lou. I know her from church. She's a stay-at-home mom, great gal, has wonderful kids, and looking for a way to make some additional income from home. And then I'm going to hand off the call. I'm going to go, Pat, this is Mary Lou. Mary Lou, this is Pat. Kind of just like if you're at a barbecue or introducing somebody at a cocktail party, or I've never been to cocktail parties. I'm not exactly sure what goes on, but I've seen them on TV, right? So I get the deal. Simple and sweet. Now, what do we just do there? Okay, number one, we positioned the upline as the the successful person, the person of authority, the person with the information, the knowledge, and so on. Takes the pressure off of me as the distributor. I don't have to be that guy because I'm working with Pat Anderson. Okay, now in introducing Pat, I did three things. I referenced her rank, Diamond Elite. Now, that doesn't mean anything to Mary Lou. She has no idea what Diamond Elite is. I could have said double crusted banana Thursday. Doesn't make any difference what the rank is, but it is a recognition of success. Okay, I could have said, and this is Pat Anderson. She's a bronze executive. What's Mary Lou thinking? Bronze? Wow, she's in the medals, right? I mean, that's cool. They give you a medal for being in third place in the Olympics. Doesn't make any difference. It is a recognition of accomplishment. Pat Anderson, Diamond Executive. Second thing I did is I referenced her success. One of the top income earners in the company. Now, let's say I'm a new distributor, Pat's my upline bronze. I could have said something like, Mary Lou, I've got Pat Anderson here with me. She's a bronze executive, already creating a significant part-time or full, significant income on a part-time basis. I referenced rank. I referenced income results. Now, what's a significant income on a part-time basis? Who knows? I mean, if you're struggling to make ends meet every week, living paycheck to paycheck, and Pat's made $200 last week, that's a significant amount of income, right? Brand new distributor, bronze, what have you. Reference rank, reference results. Third thing I said was, and she's being a big help to me in building my business. I'm starting to already set the stage in the mind of my prospect how we build the business. We don't do it by ourselves. We do it with the support, the guidance, and assistance of those who have come before us. We're already starting to set the stage that, Mary Lou, if you decide to get involved, you're not going to have to do it by yourself. You get to work with Pat Anderson, bronze executive, already making, an extra $200 or $300 a week on a part-time basis. And we'll all be here to help you. So, introduce the upline first. Reference rank, reference results, reference, and then establish, been a big help to me. And then immediately turn around and introduce your prospect. Say something nice about the prospect to your upline. Say something about them that's special that would indicate, they would be good at our business, or they're the kind of person we're looking for. Say something about what they want. Okay, give your upline a path to run on. Okay, and so, I know Mary from church, stay-at-home mom's got great kids, and and looking for a way to create some additional income from home with her children. And then as soon as you do that, get rid of the call, hand it off to your upline. Something as simple as Pat, this is Mary Lou. Mary Lou, this is Pat. Now you've handed off, let your upline start talking, and here's what you do. Two things. Grab your pen and paper. Listen to what your upline says. Listen to the questions they're asking. Because as soon as possible, you want to be able to do third-party validation for your distributors' prospects. You want to make the big money? Do what Pat does. You want to get there. So as soon as you hand off the call, grab your pen and paper and start taking notes. Here's number 2, shut up. Don't open your mouth. Stay quiet. There's always this temptation, as Pat's talking about the opportunity, whatever, to jump in there and go. And Mary Lou wants to lose some weight. Pat, tell her how great, XM3 is. Shut up. The minute you open your mouth, you have taken away the edification of the upline. If the upline has really got it going on, really knows the deal, why do you need to then throw something in? You have de-edified the upline. You have removed from them that power they have by having the answers, being the one that knows everything. So two things: as soon as you hand off that call, grab your pen and paper, start taking notes on what they say. That's the best way to learn. And number two, shut up and wait to be called back into the conversation. And here's what everybody's going to do. And every leader has a little bit different finesse. This is why you want to be connected to as many of your upline support team members, because every one of us has a little bit different feel, a little bit different presence. You know, there are people that you'll want to introduce to me, okay, because you know, they'll get me, right? There'll be people that you'd rather introduce to Pat. Pat's going to resonate more with them, or maybe Reed or Amy McKenzie or whoever. Okay, it's good to have several different people that you have the ability to introduce your prospects to or to plug your new person into, because everybody's going to resonate a little bit differently with somebody else. Okay, a lot of people plug me into guys that have a blue collar background. Okay, because you know, I've done a lot more than drive trucks. I've done a lot of things. Okay, and you know, a lot of times guys with blue collar background, they get me, right? And I get them. You know, a lot of you will introduce Pat to, you know, successful business owners, because Pat's owned many successful businesses. You know, if you plug somebody like that into me, they might hear something like, well, yeah, you know, yeah, I didn't invest $1 million in a business and work 80 hours a week. I invested $1,300 in my business. I do it part-time, and it's made me several $1,000,000. You know, so much for Mr. Businessman, right? So be a little careful on who you plug me into. That protocol, folks, if you can get that down, make it simple, follow that little protocol, I hear this all the time. And first of all, Mary Lou, I have this great pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Fred Holmes. You know, and then all these great things about me, which is, you know, great for my ego, but you know, frankly, it separates me from being a real person to your prospect. It takes a day and a half to get through all the accolades of who I am. Even I don't buy my story anymore. And your prospect, if they ever get involved in the business, they're never going to introduce me, because they'll never be able to remember all the stuff you said. Keep it simple, keep it short, keep it sweet, move through it briskly. If it takes you more than 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds. You're spending a minute introducing one person to another. Don't go past the minute. I mean, that's silly. How long does it take to, you know, I've had Pat Anderson. She's a Diamond Elite, one of the company's top income earners. Incredible help to me in teaching me how to do this business. And Pat, I got Mary Lou. I know her from church. She's a great gal, got great kids, stay-at-home mom, looking for a way to make some additional income working from home. Pat, Mary Lou, Pat. I shut up, I grab my pen and paper. How long did that take? I should have just timed it right now. If you're doing that, that's simple. It's duplicatable. Okay, it can be done by the masses. Everything that we do as we do Zija, our prospect doesn't know how we do Zija. Our new distributor doesn't know how we do Zija. They think what we do is how we do Zija. So therefore, it's important from the very beginning that whatever you're doing, make sure that it is simple, fun, and duplicatable. You want your prospect to be thinking, this looks simple, it looks like it'll work, and I think I can do it. And if you've got that down, I don't care whose system you're using, if it follows those parameters, then you're going to have something that's going to become very successful. Now, I've got a couple of minutes left. I had a conversation with one of my team members from the East Coast. Put me on the line. It was my second follow-up call with this young man, and he's pretty interested. Okay, it's not, you know, I mean, the product makes sense to him. He's a healthy guy, fitness guy. But what really got his attention was that this was the kind of business that he could travel to different countries and build his business internationally, giving him the freedom to move around, to do the kinds of things. He said, you know, I'm a younger guy, I think he's in his mid-20s, late 20s. He wants to get his traveling done before he gets married and kids and that sort of thing, okay? Now, how did I know he was interested in that? Because I asked him. I asked him what kinds of things would he like to do. And so I shared with him the potential of that. And this was the second follow-up after, you know, he accepted more additional information. We had the follow-up, and it was literally 48 hours later. Okay, spoke with him, set up the follow-up call, and he was interested. He said, "Let me ask you, how do I, you know, people my age, you know, mid-20s, how do I convince them this isn't network marketing or multi-level marketing?" And I said, "You don't." I said, "It is network marketing. It is multi-level marketing." He said, "Well, a lot of people that I know have this negative attitude towards network marketing." I go, "I want you to think about this for a minute. Why would they have a negative attitude about network marketing? Why would I convince them it's not? Why would I do anything that wasn't network marketing?" See, too many times people are trying to apologize for who we are. And you need to really understand what the objection is. Here's a good starting point. Are you looking for 80 percenters or are you looking for 20 percenters? Think about it for a minute. I'm not looking for an 80 percenter. I'm not looking for the person that's happy with the status quo. I'm looking for Mary Lou, my friend from church. Got a couple of kids, husband works hard, they need more money than they got. She's willing to step out of her comfort zone, start a home-based business so she can stay home, raise the kids, homeschool them, and not have to go get a job like the 80 percenters where both parents are working, babysitters are taking care of the kids, and before you know it, they're off to college, and where did life go? Where did the kids go, right? I'm looking for the 20 percenters. Now, the person that's, you know, whose greatest goal in life is to get a job working for the county so they can't get fired. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working for the county. I used to work for the county, okay? However, we're not looking for the 80 percenters. Quit chasing the people we're not looking for. The ones who think it's a great life because they can get off work at 5 and go home and watch TV and eat, you know, Kraft mac and cheese, right? That's not what we're looking for. Quit chasing those people. I did share this with them. I said, if you think about it, why wouldn't somebody be open to looking at a business that takes extremely, you know, you can start it with a credit card, okay? And you can work at your own pace. There's no prerequisite for experience and so on. By the way, you know, you can't go buy a McDonald's franchise unless you qualify. Doesn't make any difference if you got the $1 million. You have to qualify to be able to spend that money to buy a McDonald's franchise. Why wouldn't somebody want to have a business that creates an income that's, I mean, within 36 months, I was in the top 1% of income earners in this country, and I do it part-time from home. Why wouldn't you want that? Why would I try to convince somebody this isn't network marketing? If they're not interested in, you know, if once they understand what can happen, okay, and you got to give them, that's why it's so important to be tied into your upline so your upline can document that this works. Because you can't, you haven't done it yet as a brand new distributor. But if that person isn't interested in learning more, next, go to the next person. They're not who you're looking for. What you do need to do is go create your own story so you can go back to that person and tell them, this is what you missed out on. And if they're happy showing up for work at 8 in the morning and leaving at 5 and having just enough money so that they can have their basic needs met and they have no aspirations for anything more, God bless them. That's great. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not being negative about that. That is a great thing. It just doesn't happen to be a great thing for people like me or Pat Anderson or, you know, Amy McKenzie or Reed and Yvonne Nelson, and probably not a great thing for you, or you wouldn't be investing your time here with me on Saturday morning, or putting in on the replay when you could have been watching TV. You're watching the replay of this training. So pretty much come to the end of my allotted time. I'm going to look here at the chat. This is your chance, folks. If you have a question, you have a comment, anything that I might be able to help, please feel free. There's a little chat window down there. Go ahead and click on that. Do a message. I will take the rest of the time that we have here this morning to do anything that I can to support your efforts. Who shares prices of kits with the prospect? And that's from Ray. You know, that's a really good question, Ray, and then let me see if I can frame that up a little bit better. You're prospecting somebody, you've gone through the process, they're pretty excited about getting in, they want to know what's it take to get, what's it cost to get involved. The question that Ray's asking is, who should tell them what it costs to get involved? My personal opinion is that if you're a new distributor, Ray, and you're talking to your prospect and they're saying, well, what's it cost to get involved? My personal opinion is that's the conversation that should have been happening with your upline. As a new person, you're in a lot better position if you let your upline in that third-party validation process, let them go through that process. They'll basically, they'll establish some rapport with your contact. They'll be asking some questions, trying to identify what the prospect's interested in, what do they like, what are they looking for, and lead them to some kind of further action. Might be more information. Could be the question, dealing with the question, what's it take to get in? I like, first of all, as an upline, it's a lot easier for me to talk about it, okay, because it's not my prospect. You're a brand new person. You really don't have a lot of documentation. I can say I started with the Diamond Pack and had all my money back in 2 weeks. That Diamond Pack, I made, let's see, 20 times the cost, 30 times, over 30 times the cost of that. I had a 30-time ROI on that in the first year. Okay, so I mean, I can do that, and I don't have a problem with that. And the chances are, because I don't have a problem with it, I'm going to do the kinds of things that should be done, such as when people ask me, well, what about the starting packs? Well, our best package is the Diamond Pack. It's $1,300. I say $1,300. I do not hesitate on the price. I talk about a wide range of products to sample out. It's the optimal way to get started. That's how I got started. Got all my money back in 2 weeks. And there's another package called the Gold Package. It's $660. It's half of that one. It's half the size, benefits. So that's my personal opinion. Ray, and more sees now. When I'm talking today, if I'm prospecting somebody individually, I don't have a real problem doing it, but I've done it a lot. I know how to position it. If you're new, I would encourage you to let your upline do that. Okay, hope that answers the question. Kick back to me if you need any clarification on that. Let's see, where are we at here? Let's see. Candace. Cost is usually a question of value, and often there's an objection to price. Your upline can help overcome with that. I want to share this with you because I did have this in my notes. If I had enough time, I wanted to talk about this. Thank you very much, Candace. You're welcome, Ray. I hope that helped. Candace Smiley just said, cost is usually a question of value, and this is actually something we talked about I had lunch with Candace on Thursday. Candace Smiley from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. She's traveling throughout the United States building business. She got within a 3-4 hour drive of me and asked if I'd do lunch. And I'm thinking, drive to me all the way from where you're at? Heck yeah, I'll go do lunch with you. I had the best time. We got to sit out in the harbor. It was a nice day. Got to meet her daughter. That was a lot of fun. But we had some really good conversations. And I did want to mention that a little bit, but she just said, cost is usually a question of value. And often there's an objection to price that the upline can help you overcome. One of the comments you made, everybody pays whatever they got to pay to have whatever they got to have. I want you to think about this. Have you ever heard somebody say, oh, it's $100? That's a lot of money. That same person spends over $100 a month on cable TV, okay, with the pay-per-view channels. And they still pay for extra videos. Okay, I have never met somebody on welfare, government assistance, that didn't have a 6-pack of beer in the refrigerator, you know, a big screen TV, and cable, and a pack of cigarettes. All right, the cost of it is never the issue. People will buy whatever they need. Now, is there a segment of the population, and let's break this down to, like, the bottom 10%, top 10%. Okay, is there a segment of the population that a couple of dollars a day would take food out of the mouths of their babies? Absolutely. So I'm not talking about that. There's always going to be, that 10 or 15% of the population that cannot buy our product. But you know what? They cannot buy anything. Okay, they are living at a subsistence level of living. That's not our target market. But make no mistake about it, except for that particular segment of the population, people can afford whatever they want. Gas prices keep going up. Guess what? People keep driving. All right, people keep, they still go out to eat junk food. They still buy a Starbucks, double frappe lacocino, whatever. I don't buy that stuff, so I don't know what it is. But you know what I'm saying? They spend, several bucks on a coffee, or they buy a Red Bull in the middle of the afternoon to get them through the day, or a Diet Pepsi or whatever. And if you add up what people spend, it's $2, $3, $4, $5 a day in pocket change. They still can afford whatever they want. It has nothing to do with cost. And as soon as you get it out of your head that it's an issue, it'll stop becoming an issue. Okay, trust me on that one. Now, one thing I wanted to talk with about Candace. It became very evident in speaking with Candace, she's the person you're looking for. Okay, she's got high-level goals. She's willing to do what it takes to be successful. She's not willing to sacrifice the important things in her life. For those of you that were on our broadcast last Saturday, I think it was, Candace was responding to a couple of questions during the question and answer session, and I asked her to come on camera because I assumed that she was sitting at her, in her office room with her camera and everything. She was in Morro Bay. I don't want to say on vacation because it's a working vacation. She's got her 3-year-old daughter with her. She's showing her how, a solo mother and her daughter can work business and travel and see all kinds of things and go to the beach. And she had her at a park and was still doing Saturday morning news distributor training and jumped on the video to help respond to a question. Okay, she's the person you look for, the one that wants more, okay, is willing to make some of the sacrifices, and because she could have skipped Saturday morning training, okay, she could have not been available on camera, but she was combining her life at the park with her daughter, and it only took a few minutes to be part of a video, and she could see what her daughter was doing, so she didn't let her playing in the park by herself, right? I mean, those are the kinds of things that I did with my kid growing up. Or, well, he was growing up in the business, right? But here's the thing I thought was very interesting, is that we talked about the different things that are necessary to achieve high-level success. And I kept going back to this. I'm not the guy. I'm not the best recruiter. I'm not the best trainer. I'm not the best public speaker. I'm just a guy who's been doing this over and over and over again, you're going to get better at it. Okay, if you hit 1,000,000 golf balls, you're going to be a great golfer. If you have talent, that may get you into the PGA. I hope I got that right because I don't golf. But even without talent, hitting 1,000,000 golf balls is going to make you really good golfer. That applies to everything. And I use that as my leverage. Okay, even though I don't have a lot of talent, I'm not particularly good at many things in our business. What I am really good at is mastering a simple system and doing it over and over and over and over again consistently for a prolonged period of time. And with Zija, I just did the same thing I did in the first company I joined. I just did it over and over again. And here's the interesting thing, folks. I did it for 36 months. That's it. Everything I've done to create my Zija business was done in the first 3 years. And now, 10 years from the time that I started with Zija, I'm getting back at it. Because what's going to happen in the next 10 years of Zija will be an exponential growth compared to what's happened in the last 10 years. Only a few of us really understand what it is. Those of you that are the new distributor base, maybe you've only been with us, a few days, a few weeks, a few months, a year or two. There's only a very few of us that really know what's about to happen because we've been there. Okay, and this should be a clue. 3 years I put into building my Zija business, and that has carried me for the balance of this 10 years. I'm now back in it because I know what's going to happen. And for Candace Smiley's perspective, I'm going to put words in her mouth. I know she walked away from that lunch, and it was lovely to see you, Candace, but I know she walked away from that lunch thinking, if that guy Fred can make that much money, I am going to get rich. And I hope that's what you got, sweetie, because I ain't that big a deal. Okay, I just mastered that concept. Follow a simple system. Just keep doing it over and over again. So, folks, I've come to the end of my my allotted time here. Let me just do a real quick pick here. This morning, cartoons and cereal to keep the minion busy, and then off to the elephant seal. Oh, very cool. How many here grow cool things? Thank you, Fred. Excellent. Am I missing any? You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Yes, I know she did. Because Candace's a pretty sharp gal, but I know she was sitting there the whole time thinking, dang, if this guy can make this much money, I am going to get rich. And so enjoy the elephant seals. They are amazing. All right, folks, that's it. Hit my allotted time. This coming week, check Facebook for David. He's in Europe. He's going to keep doing his millionaires and training calls. On Monday, it's just going to be, the Facebook Live will be at a different time. Tuesday evening, Pat, are you still with me? Tuesday evening, I believe you're going to want to check Pat's website. We're starting to do a regular pattern now of a Tuesday evening PBR, public, well, not a private business reception, but an opportunity meeting on Tuesday nights. That's an incredible new addition to the lineup. Wednesday night, go to www.clubmoringa.com. Pat Anderson and with her guests, we'll be doing health talks with Pat. Thursday evening, biz talks with me or one of the other trainers, and then Saturday morning, new distributor training again. Get plugged in. If you're not on the newsletter, go sign up for the newsletter on my website. I'm done. I'm out of here, folks. Thanks for joining us. Hope this was helpful. What virtual PA is that, Pat? Okay, good. And look forward to seeing you on MIT call Monday night. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.